song is that?
Who's getting all my love? Chris Brown residuals.
Okay. I was like, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, I've been listening to that heavy recently. I don't know why.
Cute.
Yeah, very good song. I know a lot of people can hate us now because they don't like Chris Brown, but hey, well, it is what it is.
I like Chris Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
You went to see him, innit?
I did. Yeah.
How was that?
Front row. I had a great time.
Is he as good a performer as they say?
Yeah. You can't take that away from him.
Yeah.
That you can't.
Him or Beyonce?
Now in my life, at this present moment, I'm with Chris Brown.
As a performer?
As a performer, yeah.
Ooh.
But I've delved into both.
Yeah.
And watched them both front row.
Uh-huh. And Chris Brown still takes the...
I wouldn't say he takes the lead in terms of performance. They're both great.
Yeah, of course.
But where I'm at with music, I'm now with Chris Brown.
Okay.
I'm not with Beyonce anymore like I was.
I hear it. A lot of people have kind of
drifted on. Yeah. It's just the category of genre she's going on isn't for everybody. So
understandable.
I'm just back with Chris Brown.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm going to see Usher soon though.
Ooh.
That's great.
Is it gonna be like his the Las Vegas one that he does?
I mean, I think so. I hope so.
You can eat the grapes.
No. I'm not gonna eat the grapes. I'm not gonna eat the grapes.
Why not?
I'm not gonna eat the grapes. I'm not gonna eat the grapes.
She gonna eat the grapes.
I'm not gonna eat the grapes. But we are. Yeah, I don't know where our tickets were. I don't think we got seats. I don't know. Golden Circle, something like that. Something Circle. I don't know, but I'm going to Amsterdam to do it. So the London one would have already been done. So I'll kind of see what happens.
Yeah.
Because London's the beginning of April, and then Amsterdam's the end.
Yeah.
So I'll get like spoilers already.
Okay.
But it's fine because it won't be live.
Just make sure you have some of the fruit. It's part of your 5 a day.
I already have my 5 a day. Anyway.
I think I get close most of the time.
I get close.
Most of the time.
Yeah, I'm going to Amsterdam for 24 hours as well. We're not staying. We're just going to go to the concert.
Just for that?
Yeah.
And then you come back.
I'm going to get on plane with my handbag and I can't wait.
I hear it though.
Yeah.
It's probably quicker.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
They're coming to central London.
Yeah, and trying to get home after a concert in London. Crazy.
There you go.
Yeah, so that's the vibe. You going to see Usher?
Nope.
Okay. That's that done.
I don't care for watching artists live, you know.
Yeah,
I like live music though.
I don't actually think I've ever known you go to a concert.
No, I don't. I actually like listening to the live music in terms of I'll put it online or whatever, and it's cool hearing the crowd and stuff. But I don't care to actually go watch it. Yeah,
interesting.
Doesn't bother me.
I mean, yeah, mine. I mean, yeah, I don't really. It's the big artists that I care for.
I hear it.
That I'll see once and then they'll be like, I've done that. Oh, we need to go again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I get it. Once you've had the experience, it's kind of the same.
And once you do the experience VIP, it's even worse.
Why?
Because you then can't afford to do it again.
Yeah. Nothing ever.
That was my last. Well, no, I did that with Beyonce, and then I tried to go standard.
Yeah, didn't feel the same.
I said I won't be doing that again.
Well, speaking of never doing that again.
Yeah.
Today's topic is.
That's aggressive.
Today's topic is women not liking kind guys. But basically, it's been going viral on Twitter or X. Shout out to the weird Musk man. Basically, it says, nobody talks about the guilt of not liking back the kindest guy that you know would treat you right. It's an interesting one because a lot of women say, no, that's not true. It's never true. But it does feel like it's true.
Yeah, it's a sticky one.
Yeah.
Because, because a lot of the, I don't even want to generalize because it's not true, but when it comes to the nice guys, sometimes they're not the attractive ones. They're nice because they're not attractive.
You say that, but they could be attractive though. You just don't see them as attractive because they're being nice.
No, not me. Not me. If you're attractive to me visually, and then I speak to you and you're nice, why would I say no?
I hear it. Okay.
If you're unattractive to me visually without speaking, and then somehow you end up talking to me, it doesn't make you visually attractive to me.
Okay.
Because you're kind.
Yeah.
You've now become my friend.
Yeah.
Kind of vibe.
Okay.
So that's how I see it.
Okay.
But I think it's more like, even if they are attracted to the person and they may not be the most attractive person to everybody, but if you find them attractive and they are nice, some women do run, yes. They do. But it's the same way that men run when a woman does everything right. Yes. Oh, I've spoken to men about this.
Fair enough.
It scares them because they're used to girls being a certain way. So when a girl isn't that way, it's vice versa. People just run away from what they're not used to.
Yeah, but it feels like women run more from the kind guys, or like not run in terms of they just, but they won't really give them that chance.
Yeah.
At all. It's like I think we're just we're better off as friends.
But then in my head I'm like, well, she just doesn't find him attractive. Physically, like visually.
I feel like there is an initial attraction though, and then they can meet two guys who are equally attractive, right? Mm-hmm. But the one who's got a bit more mean spirit to him, usually, well, in the younger, and now that we're 30 plus,
I think when we're younger,
usually, that mean spirited one will get more of the play, and then the kind of guy will, I think. I don't know. A theory of mine is they'll see the kind guy. They think he'll stick around, regardless.
Yeah.
So it's
so they're not going to lose anything.
Yeah. So they can go give that other guy a chance.
Yeah.
Who they have probably a bit more fun with.
Yeah.
And then once that kind of starts to go wrong, the kind guy will still be there. So
still
they can
be
go
there.
back.
Okay. I think we should. Let's do that. Let's keep it as they're both as attracted as each other, and then one's kind, one's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that in that scenario, it stems down to what she's used to.
Yeah.
And what she's grown up around, what she's experienced in other people, and how she's been treated for probably her whole life.
Yeah.
Which gets her to that decision.
Yeah.
Because if, like, for me, example, not growing up with my dad around gave me no visualization of what a present father figure should be like, or a present male family member, or even an older male.
Yeah.
So then in my head I'm like, what does it feel like for an older male to actually be nice to you? Or to be there all the time. Yeah. So you don't actually subconsciously know what that feels like. You're just basing it off environment and what other people see. So plus with social media, if you add the fact that everyone wants the bad guy and that's the story you've been told.
Yeah.
Now what? Now what?
Why not go for the bad
guy? Why not? Because everyone else is going for the bad guy. Not that it works, but if that's the story you're being told with no personal experience, you're just gonna follow the train.
Yeah, I hear it.
Which is hard, but
I hear it.
You're gonna follow the train, and I think the only I think I was saying this to somebody else as well. The anomaly in my scenario is I grew up around boys.
Yeah.
Which makes mine now different. Because I grew up with male personalities at my age group.
Yeah.
Probably too many. But not enough female ones now. Yeah. So whereas a lot of young girls don't do that.
Yeah. So they don't understand.
Yeah. So then
around men.
Yeah. So imagine then having no older male figure, no same age male figure.
Yeah.
What are you meant to do?
Yeah.
You're never gonna pick the nice guy. You don't know what that is.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel normal to be around a nice male person who's gonna be present, who's gonna help you, who's gonna do things for you that you don't expect, gonna say nice things to you. If you're never used to those things, I'm running. This is weird. Not me. But in general, like, it's a fear of the unknown, regardless.
Yeah. But it just feels like...
It's crazy.
I fully get what you're saying. It just feels like, in that case, why not be more open to the kindness? That's what is confusing.
That's when everyone has to go on their own personal change. Like, if you don't want change for yourself, then you're just going to live however. Yeah. Like, unless you want to go into that thought process of your own past for yourself, you're never going to even, like, some people would never even think that's to do with it for themselves. They wouldn't even think, oh, it's got nothing to do with my friend, like my family or anything. And I had this conversation with somebody, with a girl they were seeing, and I was like, oh, like, is her dad around? He was like, no, she doesn't even know him. I was like,
yeah, boy, that can affect them.
Like, like, throughout the whole story, I was thinking, I wonder if her dad's around. Do you know what I mean? Like, I didn't even know. But it has such a weird effect. It's a subconscious one. Like, it's not really that direct. Mm-hmm. But it's there.
I hear it. It can make sense, for sure. It
can make sense. But obviously, I think when you get to a certain age, fix up.
Yeah, 100%.
Fix up. 100%. Fix up. Because you get to a point where you're like, wait, actually, I think the more you do it, the more bad guys you date, hopefully, you start to think about the kind of people. Yeah. Hopefully.
I do. I mean, from my experience, it's probably happened once.
Yeah.
And her ex was pretty bad to her. Or her exes. Yeah, her exes were pretty bad to her. So then I was a stark difference.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not, I wouldn't say I'm a nice guy all the time.
Yeah. Anger.
Yeah. But obviously I didn't do the things that her exes did to her and stuff. And it's not like I'm not some quick-witted guy. So I'm not just a pushover, if that makes sense. I'm not the type of guy that I just let the woman do whatever she wants to do to me.
Just a nice human.
Whatever, yeah. But I'm just nicer to her, or I was nicer to her than her past partners were. And I remember one time we were in the car together, going somewhere, and I was playing music. I think I was probably playing like Bryson Tiller or something. Yeah. And she said something like, you listen to a lot of gay music. I was like, what?
Bryson Tiller?
What? But it made me realize, like, hold on.
You can imagine what cars she's been
in. I'm listening to a mixture of R&B, hip hop, everything, and you're probably listening to mainly drill music and all of that sort of stuff. So to you, it's like, a guy listens to this music?
Yeah. Crazy. Yes, they do.
We do.
Yeah. And a lot do.
Yes. Yeah. Probably most of the world does.
Yeah.
That has access to this type of music.
Yes.
So, but yeah, that made me understand, like, okay, you're so used to a certain clientele that my business is not welcome
here. Yeah, legit. Yeah.
Not welcome here at all. So yeah, I do agree, definitely to a degree, that the past, whether it's partners or fathers or friends or whatever, makes a huge difference.
It is kind of crazy when you watch it as well, because when I do watch it in women, like, sometimes I'm like, okay, yeah, it's just weird how people react to people doing things that are nice.
Yeah.
Because, like, someone will be like, oh yeah, like, oh, he said he'll come with me to the supermarket.
Okay.
But you know what I'm saying? But some people are like, that's so weird. Where it's like, well, no, he's just going to help you.
Yeah.
But you obviously don't want to be helped.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, you just have to, it's so difficult, because if you're stuck in the cycle of being treated badly, getting out of that is difficult. If you don't think about it.
I can imagine. But you should.
Agreed.
You should feel comfortable receiving kindness.
Yeah.
You know?
You do have to learn, though, because I had to learn to allow other people to do stuff for me.
Yeah.
I had to really allow. I could do everything.
Yeah.
I can do it. But, like, it got to a point where even, like, with one of my exes, I would be like, oh, can you come with me just to do something I know I can do?
Yeah.
Can you come with me? As that's me, like, training myself to just be like, have help. But then I'd do it myself anyway. And he was like, why was I here? I was like, oh.
Yeah. Maybe I didn't need you.
Maybe,
I should have just.
But I was trying.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a strange thing to unlearn without practicing it physically.
Yeah.
Like, for me to ask somebody to do something now, I'm like, great.
Yeah.
But at the beginning, it was not like that.
I hear it. Obviously, I'm not a woman, so I don't really.
Really?
It's just I can only go back off my experiences, and obviously you're one I get because you're so independent and you don't need people to do things for you. From my experience, it was the reacting to things in terms of maybe something's happened. I'm not reacting like what the angry. I'm talking about it, but that's to her is unattractive or it's a put off because I'm not being maybe man enough or whatever. But I feel like that's again, obviously this was younger days.
Yeah.
And I would hope by now
she's probably different now.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Yeah.
But you should be comfortable in me not screaming at you and reacting aggressively.
You say that. Yeah, you say that. I think that those ones, when it comes to people's reactions, especially when we were younger, it's definitely stemmed from a household. I'm not gonna say that it is like 100%, but like from my experience of seeing people how they react to things, it's definitely being at home. Like some people, they would only get praise from their parents if they did something wrong and corrected it.
Right.
So you have to do something wrong first
to get praise.
To get the praise at the end, which doesn't really correlate as an adult.
Yeah.
But if you know that as a kid, you're going to do something wrong in order to receive love. So like those kind of cycles, like when you come to being a teenager and young adult, they just follow you until you outlearn them.
Yeah.
So like that one in terms of reacting, it's like if her dad only ever shouted at her when she said stuff, in her head, that's a normal male reaction.
Yeah.
And yours wasn't. So now she's like, is this a man? Because in her head, that's not what a man does.
Not man enough.
Yeah.
Damn.
Whereas in her head, man enough is what her dad did whenever she spoke. Or whenever she went out of line, the man would get aggressive, the woman wouldn't. So if you're not being aggressive, in her world, you're a woman.
Ooh.
Pain. Pain. But like that's psychologically, that's like how things like develop because you get used to things. Like, and that's why when you become an adult, you have to unlearn certain things and so much. And I think this is what happens when you turn 30. You're like, holy smack, things must be unlearned, and then people do it. Shit. And that's why the 30s and 40s are so fun.
Because you've reached that next stage.
Yeah, the processing.
Yeah.
Because I would never process these things when I was in early 20s.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking about this. Who's got time for that? No. But like when you get that, when you start to see other people dealing with things in certain ways, you're like, wait, why are they doing that? Why are they wilding out? Like even this morning, it's not about relationships, but it's about reacting and action, right?
Okay.
So even this morning, it was like, I don't know what time it is, maybe like 10 o'clock. There was a tow truck outside the house, but there was another car parked in the road, and the tow truck had to get this car to get out.
Yeah.
And he was beeping at the guy, and they're just beeping back and forth. I'm like, somebody just move, yeah? But like, they're like holding the horn. Holding the horn for a good 15 seconds per person. Oh, God. Right? Which is annoying as hell.
Yeah, for sure.
Obviously, both of me and Alice's rooms are at the front.
Yeah.
I can hear the horn. Bearing in mind, I'm already awake. She's not awake, but I can hear the horn, whatever. And I'm just like, let's look out the window. I'm like, not my business. Do you know what I mean? I can hear the horn. It's annoying me, blah, blah, blah. Alice banging down the window, telling the man to shut the hell up. And I can hear her banging the window from my room.
Did she have a night shift?
No. She just couldn't sleep. But
okay. That pissed me off too.
Do you see what I'm saying? So like different kinds of reactions. We're experiencing the same sound. But in my head, because I know both of our mums who we grew up with, my mum would have done what I just did and opened the window and been like,
yo,
okay, whatever. Alice's mum would be banging down the window and telling the people them to shut up. But that's the thing. Like, as adults now, we can see where it stemmed from.
Yeah.
Even though we would never have thought, I'm going to copy my mum and scream out the window one day.
Yeah.
That's where it comes from. But I think it's obviously a lot easier when you know people's families and you can notice those things.
Yeah, for sure.
But they definitely all come from somewhere. And I think that's the same with the reactions towards men.
Damn.
For sure.
That was some deep level stuff right there.
For sure. It makes sense.
Saskia was in her bag.
It might not be psychologically right.
But it makes sense.
Proven or whatever. But to my head, that makes sense.
Makes sense. Well, hopefully this, a lot of people see this and we get a lot of opinions. I think you're on the right lines. I think I have so much to go on that. I think you're on the right lines. Yeah. Maybe, is it 100% correct? We're not saying that.
Yeah.
For sure. And I'm also, from my part, I'm not saying... because people say it's hard to get away from abuse and stuff.
Yeah.
And I completely understand that.
Yeah, for sure.
So don't worry, I'm not diminishing that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, we're just giving hypotheticals out.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Good job.
That's all the time we had, unfortunately. We appreciate you listening. Make sure you follow us at frameofmind.pod on Instagram and TikTok. And I hope you like our jackets. They are very nice.
They were very nice.
But yes, Saskia.
Love us or leave us.